Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. We're glad to hear on this first Monday of June. We got a great month ahead. June is such an exciting month in the outdoors. We've got a special guest here to start the month off right. But let's do our weather brought to us by Hainan Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Hot, 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 hot. I don't know if we got any relief inside. Up in about 92, 93 here on the coast. Low they're saying 77. And the water temperature is still at 88 degrees. So that's the conditions right there. By the way, I did get to go in swimming some last week. The water feels great. It's a good time of year to just jump in the Gulf of Mexico. Our moon phase brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. Our Monday moon phase, we got right on the verge of a new moon. So we're going to have a full moon here coming in the middle of June. And we'll be talking a lot about it later on next week. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Get back into some good tides now. We have a high tide at 9:09 this morning. Then a low tide at 7:57 this afternoon. So we got an incoming tide early. Our marine forecast south-southwest at about 10 to 12. Let's take a quick break, come back with our guest. Welcome back, and look who's here this morning. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Coach.
Always great to have Travis. And again, now we got to get started because there's so much to talk about and something so relevant right now, beginning of the summer, Travis, and you see it on a daily basis when you're working boating safety and all these things going on with it. I mean, y'all got all kind of situations. So let's do boating safety first.
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, we just kicked off, or we just got through with Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's one of the busiest boating holidays we have, and being at the first one of the summer, very, very busy across the region, and here in Bay County, excuse me, super busy. We had great weather, you know, and it's just one of those things to where we just hope that we don't have any bad boating accidents, because you have so many people on the water, and in some of our areas, especially Shell Island, Panama City Pass, and Grand Lagoon, very congested when you have that many people. And so anyways, it was super busy. So yeah, I just want to talk about, you know, just kind of do an overview again on boating safety, things to look for, things that I saw, you know, over the last weekend,
yeah.
and just things to be mindful of when you're on the water. First and foremost, I mean, we preach this on a daily basis, life jackets. They save lives, and not only having them, but know where they're at, make sure they're readily accessible in an emergency situation, or wear them. You know, they're just a great, I mean, they save lives. I mean, that's the thing I just want to stress the most. And one thing that we did see too, just to touch on too, a thing with life jackets is if your vessel's less than 26 feet in total length, and you have a child under the age of 6, they need to wear that life jacket at all times while the vessel's underway. No excuses there, and pretty much zero tolerance, because if a child that small goes in, more than likely, you know, it could be a very bad situation. Mm-hmm. So I know one situation we came up on, we had a pontoon boat, and then we had 4 children under the age of 6 without life jackets on. Oh. And that's just inexcusable. I mean, that's something that needs to be addressed, and that you know, actually the captain and then the parents, you know, they depend, the children depend on them for their safety, so they need to make sure they're doing that stuff. Another thing too, we saw BUIs, of course. We've talked about this before. You know, you always want to have a sober operator.
Y'all had a pretty busy weekend last Memorial Day, didn't you?
We did, and you know, the thing that goes with that, there's no open container law on a boat, so if people want to go out, recreate, drink alcohol, things like that, there's no problem with it as long as you have a sober person to drive the boat. Another thing too, navigation rules, always a good thing to review, especially when you're in congested waters, and then maintaining a proper lookout going on with that at all times, because there's all kinds of things going on. I know I worked a boating accident a couple weeks ago. We had a vessel overturned right off Shell Island, wasn't very rough, and just didn't have a proper lookout because they were looking at dolphins. Next thing they know, they're capsized, and
really?
Yeah, one of them got pinned under the boat, and then they were able to get off, and luckily no one was hurt, you know, but it could have been bad. So just things I wanted to reiterate, you know, boating safety wise. Another thing, take a boating safety class if you haven't done it, even if it's not required, just to freshen up on things before we get in this busy boating season. It'll be a good idea. And then one more note, I had a float plan. That's something that, you know, as a fisherman and I'll usually tell, you know, your significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever, hey, I'm going to be leaving from this landing. I'm leaving at this time. I'm going on this boat with these people, and this is when I should be back. And if you're not back around that time, or, you know, reasonable amount of time, then maybe people know where to start looking for you. So just a good thing to put in place too, having that float plan.
Yeah, and you're so right, because it can happen, especially if you're fishing alone and all. You need to let people know.
Right, exactly. And another thing too, I want to talk about boating accidents. You know, one thing too that we're proud of here at FWC is in 2017 we had 766 reportable boating accidents across the state.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't realize how many there really are. And I worked in Palm Beach 4.5 years, and obviously with more people, more boats down there in South Florida. But we do have a lot up here in the Panhandle as well. But in 2018 we reduced that number to 628.
Oh, great.
So over 100 less, and we take great pride in that. You know, enforcing these boating safety regulations, the BUI enforcement, and you know, with more boats and more people, having that number go down is really a good thing. So
that is a really good stat right there.
It is, and the thing about most boating accidents, they're preventable if people are wearing their life jackets. They've got a proper lookout, and they've got a sober operator, things like that. It'll reduce that number. So.
And of course, the boat ramp, that's another story. But we don't have an accident boat ramp, but we have a lot of, I guess, entertainment at a boat ramp.
Tell you, I know there is entertainment at a boat ramp. You go there on Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I swear, every year I say I'm going to do a show on Memorial Day or July 4th at the boat ramp. But that, you know, wearing the life jackets with kids and all, and each year we talk about that. Now, we had a boating accident, you said, in Pensacola recently, and a lady got cut up pretty bad or whatever.
Yeah, we've had one in Pensacola, and then we've already had a fatal over in Walton County.
Yeah.
So, you know, everyone wants to go out in the water, have fun, fish, go to the beach, look at the dolphins and things like that. But remember, whoever's operating the boat, the captain, you're responsible for everyone on that boat, and just take those extra time, make sure you've got all your gear, and then just be careful out there. That's what we want to stress. That's
so true, so true. We're going to take a break, right back with Travis. All right, welcome back. Officer Travis Bashford of Fish and Wildlife Commission. We're glad to always have him come on once a month and tell us so much stuff going on, because there's something every month. So what we got this segment?
There is, and we can talk about fishing. You know,
okay.
It's Panhandle Outdoors. We got to talk about fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
But that boating safety stuff, I know I could ramble on about that forever, and we see a lot of stuff out there, but the main stressor is, again, we want everyone to be safe on the water. When it comes to fishing, now we'll get into, we got snapper.
Open up Saturday.
Federal just opened up, and then we've got our recreational season's going to open up June 11th, and then we've got also the state charters, you know, will open that same day as well. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about spotted sea trout.
Okay.
Because at the last meeting, you know, we had talked about here on the show, there were several proposed changes across the state. A lot of them had to do with bag limits and things like that. And the proposed change here from the Northwest region was reducing the bag limit from 5 fish to 3 fish, and having a 0 bag limit for guides, and when they're running a charter. Now, there was a lot of public input, especially here in the Northwest region. The meeting was in the Northwest region. A lot of people came from that. And that's basically Pensacola all the way to Big Bend. And what they did is they said, "Oh, we're gonna hold off on those right now," because there was a lot of stakeholder input against changing the bag limit. A lot of people were for the 0 bag limit for guides, but changing the overall from 5 to 3. So you kind of had mixed feelings, like on a lot of our issues. But as for now, that's on standby. So we're going to stay with the same bag limit, 5 fish per person. With the 15 to 20 inch slot, 1/20. And as of now, yeah, guys can continue to have that, you know, their limits. So more to come on that, and there was other restrictions for other regions around the state, and as far as I know, everything's on standby for now.
Okay.
But I'll keep you all up to date.
Good deal.
We know greater amberjack and gray triggerfish, we had early closures this year.
Yeah.
Just want to touch on that because some of those were emergency closures, and amberjack closed May 3rd. It's going to stay closed. This is state and federal through July 31st.
Okay.
Reopen August 1st through October 31st. So we'll have an amberjack season this year, but it'll be more fall, in the fall, late summer and fall. Triggerfish, emergency closure May 11th. It's going to be closed for the rest of the year. The reason they did that is stay consistent with the federal change that was made. State season was scheduled to be open through the end of May, and they went ahead and closed it. So I know it's kind of old news. We're getting into June, but
that's good.
Wanted to touch on that. And then we've got gag grouper also opened up. Just recently opened up June 1st for our area to be open through the end of the year. Same thing, two fish per person, 24 inches in total length. And remember, with all the grouper, like you have 2 reds, 2 gags. If you mix some other groupers in there, 4 grouper total on the aggregate limit.
Okay.
We've got also, I want to touch because we had Franklin, Wakulla, Jefferson, Taylor, that 4-county region over to the east that they open early. Mm-hmm. They'll be open now till the end of June. So we'll have 1 month where our region, where we're talking about Panama City, will be open the same time as that 4-county, and then that'll close, but ours will be open.
Okay, all you guys and girls in Franklin County, be aware of that now.
Exactly, yep. So good to know there. And then, the big topic, red snapper. So we got red snapper. I know we've got our federal charters already opened. That'll be June 1st through August 2nd. Pretty good federal season this year. And then for the recreational anglers in the state for hire is going to be June 11th through July 12th.
Okay.
So good to know, and I know you enjoy going on the federal charters, and just good to know the difference in those dates. There's going to be about 10, 11 days there where there's going to be a difference. So
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff there, and it's really some fine snapper out there and fine grouper out there right now.
Oh shoot, yeah. I mean, we're anticipating to see a lot of really good fish. Mm-hmm. It's really been a fishery that's obviously highly debated, but I tell you what, the quality of fish is just unreal.
It really is.
It has been for the last several years.
I'm willing to have a closed season a long time, and you go fishing and catch some really quality fish, rather than have it open all year round and catch them.
Right.
That's the way I feel about it at this point in time.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, that catches up on all our fishing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, we did have a great pompano run this year.
We did.
I just heard from a lot of guys that have been around a long time, said this is the best they've seen since, some of them said since the 70s.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around back then, but they said it was really, really good, and that was all up and down the Panhandle.
And I wonder what it was attributed to. I guess, we're going to get our biologist, Mike, to come on before long, and maybe some of them will have some ideas and all. Mm-hmm. Okay, freshwater. You see what's going on in freshwater? Have you been able to work that much?
Freshwater, I've got a case of the month for freshwater, but I tell you what, we've stayed so busy out there in the salt, I haven't got a chance to go up there. And I know some of the guys, to the north and east and west on the rivers, they've worked at some. They've been dealing with high water, which is finally starting to come down, because we haven't had rain. But, as far as I know, I haven't had a chance to get up there, to be honest with you.
And also, working saltwater, you've seen it's been a good redfish run this spring and all.
It has been a very good run along the beaches and the passes, and a lot of quality fish there, too. It's been good. It's been good fishing, and right now we haven't had rain. The water's so clear.
That's true.
You can see a long ways whatever you're targeting, especially people sight fishing for redfish. So.
Well, all right. Well, let's see. You got a case of the month coming up, right?
I do. I got a good case of the month coming, and it's a freshwater one.
Okay.
Local one here in Bay County. And I did get a good report, too, triple tail. I had some guys go. They went over toward Indian Pass.
Yes.
And over there, and they did really good on triple tail. Now, with the new size limit, they had to let some go because they bumped it up to 18. But
I got a good friend who's a guy down in Oklahoma Bay, and he's catching between 25 and 30.
Wow.
And they're tagging almost all of them. That might keep 1 or 2, but he's tagging the rest of them.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fascinating. And I'm hopefully fishing him soon, maybe next week or 2.
That's a cool fish.
That is.
And good eating fish, too.
I know it. And aggressive fish. They'll bite the dickens out of you.
Yes, they will.
Okay, we'll take a final break, come back. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at our fishing game times first today. We're looking at by Blue Water Outriggers. Today we're looking at 12:33 to 2:33. this morning and tonight, this afternoon from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right for lunch. Now, if you look at that tide chart again, go back and look at that first week of June that we're in. There's some dynamic tides this week, some really strong tides. I want to urge you to take a couple of days off and go fishing if you can. All right? Now, we're getting into the case of the month. Out of my whole month, this is one of the highlights of my month to listen to this case of the month, because I just can't believe how stupid some people are, or either how they don't care, but really how they don't either stupid or don't care about the law. But anyway, let's get what we got this week.
Well, we've got a freshwater one. We talked about freshwater earlier, and I want to recognize Officer Dennis Palmer here in Bay County. Made another good, actually, freshwater case. You know, we talked about that one he made. It's been several months ago, but up at the dam. Where a guy had too many fish and all that, so and was casting that. Well, this is one similar. This is one he received a call actually from a complainant. Said, hey, they're casting netting brim up here at Martin Lake, and so Officer Palmer goes down there, and actually there were a couple people casting netting, and after he checks one, there was no fish, and he checks another one. They said, well, we don't have any fish. He goes, okay, well, let's just take a look here in the cooler. They show them one cooler. There's no fish in there. He goes, well, what do you got in the other one? And there's nothing in there, just some drinks. And then he goes, what do you got in that bucket? And in the bucket, they had 68 panfish. So they had brim and shell cracker mixed. And the method of harvest was a cast net, and they admitted to that. So it was one guy that ended up doing it, so he was actually over the bag limit and illegal method there for cast netting freshwater game fish. So great case by Dennis, and another thing like we talk about all the time, if you see something, call us.
That's an excellent situation there where somebody called and said, yeah, great job.
Yep, and he happened to be in the area because, you know, when people do things like this, a lot of times they're not around very long. So you see someone keeping oversized redfish or fish out of the season or illegal method here on freshwater game fish, please give us a call. And great job by Dennis getting down there and made a good case.
All right, a question now. A lot of times, sometimes when these fish are illegal harvested, and now, do y'all have to hold on to them, or can y'all release them? Are they dead, or whatever? If they're alive, what can y'all do?
Well, we have a destruct order here in Bay County, and so a picture is just as good as the actual physical evidence when it comes to resource cases. So sometimes in a real big resource case, we might keep some of the evidence, but most of the time, we take a picture of it, we document it, we count it. If it's a size limit violation, we'll get a picture of the fish with the on a ruler with the size. Cool. Certified measuring device, and then we can return it to the resource if it's alive, and then if not, we can destroy it, or sometimes we can donate it.
Good deal.
Depending on the condition of the fish, and or if it's a deer or duck or something like that. And we've done all those different things. So that's kind of what we do, disposition of evidence on resource stuff.
Good stuff.
Yep.
And you got all kind of cases pending, and a lot of times you can't talk about some of the cases because they're pending and all.
Right.
But you've got them all over the Panhandle.
Oh, we do, and I mean, our guys have been doing really, really good across the Panhandle making cases, and as we're into summer now, I mean, the fish cases are primarily you see, and freshwater and saltwater. So it's been busy, and it's been good. So.
I want to go ahead and mention that CCA tag redfish tournament we talk about. It starts Memorial Day through Labor Day, and when you catch a tag redfish, you can win a prize and all. So if you catch someone with tag redfish, call me up and I'll come help you check it. But there's already been one person that caught one tagged in Tampa Bay, but he was not registered, so he lost $40,000 by not being registered. So that happens every year. We've already this first documented case. So, but they took a picture of them and didn't do any good. So they did release them back in Tampa Bay. But we have those tagged redfish up here in the Panhandle. So
you better believe we do, because a couple years ago we checked a couple over there in East Bay.
I forgot about that. Yes, this was a different case.
And they said, "Hey, we got this fish with a tag in it." We're like, "Okay, let's take a look." Well, it was a legal redfish. They had a license, so everything was good there. And we got looking. It was the CCA Star Tournament, and they were not registered. And we said, "Well, you could have won a boat or a truck or whatever with that fish, but they weren't registered. I think they were going to register after that. But yeah, they caught that fish in East Bay, and it was about if I remember correctly, it was about a 19, 20-inch redfish. Yep.
And it happened last year, and that was about 2 years ago. So almost on a yearly basis in this area, but all over state and all.
Oh yeah, and CCA is just such a great organization. I know I went to their banquet a couple weeks ago, and they were showing some of their releases, and they release thousands of redfish down there in Southwest Florida, areas affected by the red tide, and it's just great. Just a great organization. They're always supportive of FWC and conservation. So, good thing to be a part of.
All right, this is the first week of June. Y'all got a busy week, and then Snapper's in. So, but it's recreation starts next Tuesday.
Right.
So y'all be checking them out then.
We will, and we want to make sure that people respect the seasons. You know, we got the federal season in now, so the private recreational anglers like myself and you, if we want to go, we need to wait a few more days. And so we'll be making sure people are following the rules, and then the state charters, staying in state waters when that opens, they don't need to venture out. And as we've seen in the past, especially we had the different seasons a few years ago, there's a lot of good quality fish in state waters. So it's going to be good, and it's cool because this time of year, when you're checking so many boats offshore, you get to see a lot of different kinds of fish.
Yeah.
We're talking about dolphin right now, how hot they are.
Mahi, little dolphin, chicken dolphin.
I'm going to tell you, it seemed like every other cooler we were checking this past weekend, it was like, they had a cooler full of chicken dolphin, which, no size limit in the Gulf. So.
Yeah.
They're great. They're fun when you get around the boat, and they're great eating fish. So.
They are good eating fish, and they jump and play, and it's great for kids catch them too.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of fun and all.
Yeah, and when they're just the colors and they light up, it's just unreal. When they come up and get excited. So.
Well, we're about to run out of time again. Like I say, we talked about boating safety early. We want to encourage everybody to stay safe on the boat, wear those life jackets, and get those kids wearing life jackets. And if you see somebody doing something wrong, call these guys and girls and let them know that, and that's a classic case right there at Martin Lake.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect case. And the last thing on boating safety, I just want to say real quick, these resource cases are important. That's why most of us joined is for the resource. But when it comes to boating safety, that's a person's life that can be in danger. So give us a call and let us know.
All right, thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We always appreciate your viewership. Do something good today for your fellow man. Enjoy the great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.